is oh my god, I can't read. Competition that is focused on judging the physical attributes of the contest through contests that involves personality traits, intelligent talents, and answers to the judges. The contents are required to be unmarried, is qualified to get scholarships, modeling opportunities, talent-based experiences. The ages range from 13 to 17 years old. Competition categories may include talent interviews and any type of clothes wearing depend on their theme. The oldest pageant is still in operation today, is still known as the Miss America pageant, which was also organized in 1921. The pageant hosts and the winners of the local newspaper beauty contest in the inner city beauty contest, which is attended by 100,000 people. The popularity of the Miss America pageant prompted organization to establish similar contests in the 1950s and beyond.
Beauty pageants teach women, teens, children, and even men that all you need in life to succeed is beauty. This objectification of individuals based on archaic beliefs needs to stop. People are so much more than looks. They have brains and they have personalities. They deserve to be treated like people and not poked and prodded on stage for the enjoyment of a beauty pageant. If someone wants to look good and get dressed up, they're entitled to. However, that does not mean that someone should be subjected to judgment based on how they look. Beauty pageants teach us that the worth of a person is almost solely based on appearance. Beauty pageants not only have a physical consequence for individuals, but they also objectify people in a way that's straight out of the 1950s. They're outdated and they're restrictive, and they perpetuate a damaging link between real-world success and a person's capacity to cultivate a very specific, stereotypical definition of beauty and achievement.
Beauty pageants give children the opportunity to engage in some healthy competition. According to child psychologist Tamara Chansky in her book Freeing Your Child from Negative Thinking, small disappointments help children become more resilient. Another psychologist, Dr. Tower, backed up that statement. Even more basic than the need to win is the need to feel good and have an accurate worldview, he said. Children need to be allowed to lose, ideally in a situation where cooperation and mastery are part of the scenario. Beauty pageants can be the scenario. Beauty pageants which focus on the mastery of communication skills, intelligence on political platforms, talents, and having a healthy physique can be a great source of healthy competition. Beauty pageants can also help develop social skills. Vivi Chow, an educator and entrepreneur, once coached a group of aspiring beauty queens. She said in Huffington Post that she began her session with the ladies by giving them partners and asking them to find out 5 facts about each other. The ladies were unable to do it, even after 3 weeks of sessions. It wasn't until Vivi explained to the women that beauty pageants can be something that can help them network and develop social skills that she broke through them. In an article done by Forbes, they state that small talk can lead to a host of different outcomes, from a pleasant exchange to a multi-million-dollar business deal. Being social is everything, especially in beauty pageants. Contestants have to train and hone their conversational skills for their auditions and for the actual interview segment of the beauty pageants. And according to a study done by Halton International Business School, experience is the best way to learn. Therefore, by being in a beauty pageant, people can learn to master their social skills.
Michael Imbar, the author of NBC News article, Parents Defend Putting Their Kids in Beauty Pageants, interviewed parents to see how beauty pageants have helped their children. Jones, a parent of a beauty pageant child in Texas, says, "When we were young, she was really, really shy. I developed her own type of personality. Putting children in pageants for the benefit of gaining outgoing personality is a common idea to stage out parents. Most parents view the beauty pageants as a tactic to let their children learn how to present themselves in front of a crowd. Pageants are also, of course, a way to start a career in the entertainment business. An actress, Holly Berry, was a beauty pageant. With her background, she became an American actress, a film producer, and a former fashion model. She won an Academy Award for Best Actress in 2002. Her performance was romantic drama Monsters Ball. It made her the only woman in color to win the Best Actress Academy Award. She's the highest paid actress in Hollywood during the 2000s and has been involved in the production of several of her films which she has performed. Some of her movies, Storm, X-Men's film series, The Last Stand, The Call, and Catwoman."
Time. All right. Pageant participants are subjected to arbitrary weight restrictions, paraded around in revealing outfits, and judged on superficial criteria. The message that these pageants send to the viewers is that beauty is the most attainable thing a woman should have. In fact, Miss Iceland in 2015, and I'm gonna say her name wrong, Arna Jansitador, was entered in the Las Vegas beauty pageant and subsequently quit after being told by the owner that she should skip meals if she wanted to win. In fact, the spokesperson for the competition sent her a private message that said, "Stop eating breakfast, eat just salad for lunch, and drink water every evening until the contest. The owner is telling you this because he likes you and he wants you to do well in this contest." She then quit. Exposing a girl to scrutiny of beauty pageants can create an imbalance of values and leave her believing that looks are the most important thing above character development. Next point, the sexualization is a tendency to view oneself as a sex object, and children who participate in beauty pageants are sexualized very early. Children may dress in highly suggestive costumes and learn that they gain attention and status when sexualized. This teaches the unfortunate lessons that women's worth is determined by their status as sex objects. In fact, in 2013, the French Senate voted to ban child beauty pageants on the ground that they promote hypersexualization of children. The ban would see pageants made illegal for children under 16, with punishment of 2 years in prison and $30,000 in fines for parents that help or participate in this. Furthermore, Laura Pipano in the New York Times feature on child beauty pageants said that beauty pageants in particular blur the lines between what is cute and what is sensual. This is not about cutest baby contests, which most people would see as harmless enough, but rather about adult-like competitions featuring kids pretending to be sexy adults. Children in pageant worlds are over-sexualized, hyper-focused on physical appearance, and treated as though their self-worth is directly proportionate to title wins. Then also, if we look at the Miss America scoring, for the preliminary rounds, 25% is based on private interview, 35% based on talent, 15% is based on their swimwear, 20% is based on evening wear, and 5% is based on on-stage questions. But then when they get to the final nights, talent decreases to 30, and they bump up swimwear to 20%. So basically what I say is worth less than how I look, because when you look at their actual interview judgment, which is based off the Miss America actual rules and regulations, 20% of their actual interview is how good they look while they're in the interview. So it puts a pretty interesting spin on how they judge people. So then my last point is that often people argue that you do this because you get scholarship opportunities. But I'd rather live in a world where those same girls and boys don't have to be physically judged to be able to afford school. In fact, Lisa Bearfield, who's a pageant designer in Ohio, broke down some average costs in the US as of 2015. The average pageant dress costs someone $8,000 to $10,000. Contest entry is between $500 and $1,000, and jewelry, hair, and makeup is upwards of $1,000 per pageant. Then there's always the extra costs that she says equates to about $1,000 per pageant. So that's just over $12,000, and according to the American Education Fund, the average school semester in the US is only $3,131.
Is that it? 4 points on both sides? Okay, so.
All right, so you brought up Halle Berry, which was interesting because African Americans were first featured in the 1923 Miss America pageant, but only during a dance where they played slaves. In 1970, the first black woman won a state-level competition. Cheryl Brown was crowned Miss Iowa, but the pageant did not crown a black winner until 1984, when Miss New York, Vanessa Williams, won the title. Since that time, there have only been 8 African American winners of the Miss America pageant. So it does show that it's really not supporting race in the way that we might hope.
I don't think it's too mostly based on race, but she does quote, beauty is just not physical, it's what you stand for and how you live your life. Based on her color, because people did see her that way, she was a big part of that. And she also based it on how she talked about how fitness has changed her future. Because you talked about how girls are just objects, but getting into their body type of shape in the pageant, it's very hard to do, just like any type of sport. Like if you have to swim, they make you eat a certain way, they make you practice, they make you try to gain talent. So really it's just based on any other type of sport, and it becomes a physical condition.
But they claim to promote health and fitness. However, when I read the qualifications of the contest, the Nowhere is it said that they request medical documents to support health, nor do they have to undergo physical testing. So no proof is the fact that they're healthy. They only just have to look good in a bikini.
Paula Shugart, the president of the Miss Universe organization, disagrees. She says that evening and swimwear are meant to celebrate fashion rather than enforce certain beauty standards. She said, "It's not about being skinny. I'm not looking for a particular measurement. It's about how they carry themselves. Are they confident as they walk? Are they having fun? Are they comfortable in their own skin? Is it somebody that has the it factor?" Catherine Hake, Miss Teen USA 2015, said fitness was more important than making girls feel like they had to be thin or a certain shape. And Josh Randall, Chief Operating Officer of the Miss America organization, said that the swimsuit portion is designed to promote fitness in the midst of a national health crisis.
Another point that was brought up was scholarships and the good it can do there. But the Miss America pageant specifically loves to talk about the scholarships they give out. And they boast to give out $45 million per year in scholarships. However, according to John Oliver, he did a study in 2014, they only ever issue out $4 million per year on average. Why? Because their eligibility requirements are restrictive, to say the least. Not only can contestants never have been married, but they also can never have been pregnant.
It bases it on that too, but just like any other scholarship, it's based on their further education and their various criteria on their accomplishments. So they're not just basing it on how they look and how they act, but they also base it on talent.
Right, but I've never applied for a scholarship that asked me whether or not I've ever been pregnant in the past or married. Because why should me being married affect the fact that I can learn? Also, we have been talking a lot about women, but it does affect men too. There's sort of a growth in the men's industry for pageants. And the University of West England's Centre for Appearance did a study in 2015 where they said 35% of males under the age of 18 who have competed in pageants would sacrifice a year of life for their ideal body. 44% of those would have cosmetic surgery, and there's been a 15% increase per year in men having tummy tucks under the age of 18 since the growth in the male beauty pageant.
Okay, you mentioned sexualization and stuff, and you kind of alluded to rape culture, but you didn't flat out say it. And Kiara Williams, who was Miss Congeniality in Virginia in 2015, said, "How is my love of fashion synonymous with asking someone to sexually assault me?" She basically said that rape culture doesn't really make sense because you get to know the contestants and you find out the personality. And rape culture stems from objectification, but if you know the contestants, you don't really see them as objects anymore. And so she talked about how the interview portion really changes that.
But like I said, even on the Miss America website, it breaks down that 20% of that interview portion is based on how you look during the interview as well. So they're not basing it solely without like physical appearance. There's still that component when you're talking. So, I don't know. Hi.
It's not the misogynistic rape culture perpetuating event that many people believe it is. There are flaws in the system that even a beauty pageant contestant, Kiara Williams, can admit to. Yet that doesn't make the competition entirely bad. They can be empowering. Beauty pageants give both men and women the chance to change things that they might not have been able to change with regular opportunities. Kiara Williams talked about loving that she could travel around to different places, make public appearances, and mentor young girls about the importance of their education. She also said, "I can honestly say the skills I acquired in pageantry have contributed more to my success than any other activity. Of course, my group cannot deny that there are some people who take pageantry too far. There are some women and men who go to unhealthy extremes to look the way they think society wants them to. And while that is an unfortunate reality, we maintain that overall beauty pageants are not to blame for the extreme actions of their contestants." Kaylee Graham talked about her pageant experience. "I was chasing after the physical ideals I thought people would consider beautiful. At that point, I was the most miserable I had ever been. She then realized claiming the crown wouldn't come from looking the part. She'd win the crown by accepting radiating an unwavering confidence. That taught me to stay true to who I am and not compromise. You don't have to love me. I am who I am. Overall, beauty pageants are about self-acceptance. They're about making yourself the best you can be and making the world a better place to be.
On the surface, these beauty pageants are about beauty, poise, and a good measure of world peace. They epitomize the word glamour. Young women dress up in floor-length gowns, sparkling bikinis, and as much hairspray as a human scalp can hold, while showcasing their broadest smiles and most special talents, a spectacle in its truest sense. Beauty pageants are essentially graded performances of traditional femininity. Who's the most graceful? Who's the most beautiful? Who can wear an evening gown and 5-inch stilettos without tripping? It's hard not to cringe when thinking about such an unapologetic parade of judgment and body shame. The bottom line is that beauty is an organic process, not a contest. There is nothing positive that can come out of being judged on how beautiful you are. We can and must do better than allowing someone's worth to be determined by physical appearance.
Great debate, you guys.